Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are going to explore one of Germany's worst school shootings, the Cologne School Massacre. I'd also like to take this opportunity to apologise for my German pronunciation. I haven't studied German since I was about 15 years old, and to be honest with you, the pronunciation is kind of rubbish. Willi Walter Seifert was born in Beikendorf, Cologne on the 19th of June 1921. After school, he started an apprenticeship as a metal worker at a machine factory, which he finished in 1939 at the age of 28, the year in which the Second World War began. Drafted into the Luftwaffe, the Air Force of Nazi Germany during the Second World War, Seifert attended Waffentechnische Schule der Luftwaffe, the Weaponry Technology School of the Air Force, for a year. A sergeant in the anti-aircraft battery. Following the surrender of Germany on the 7th of May 1945, Seifert was a prisoner of war for several months. Following his release, Seifert worked for a car factory in Cologne in West Germany before joining the Schutzpolizei, the state level of the German police, on the 14th of November 1945. Less than a year later, on the 23rd of August 1946, Seifert was treated for a bronchial catarrh, an inflammation of one of the mucous membranes in the airwaves or cavities of the body. Following examination by a specialist on the 5th of September 1946, it was found that he had tuberculosis in his right lung, resulting in his dismissal from the Schutzpolizei on the 30th of September, as he was unfit for service. Feeling cheated by doctors, Seifert attempted to enforce his claims for subsidies, with the West German government refusing to give him his war pension. It was during this time that his psychological state started to deteriorate. In 1953, Seifert's tuberculosis was found to be inactive, with his reduced earning capacity declared at 30%. However, linkage between his illness and his imprisonment as a prisoner of war was not found. Seifert wrote to local authorities accusing doctors of falsifying medical reports against him. In August 1954, Seifert was examined by a public health officer who sent him to a sanatorium for observation. Seifert was found to be a mentally devious person, and he was sent to a medical specialist for neurology and psychiatry, who noted that Seifert demonstrated strange behavior with scattered trains of thoughts, a constant smile in inappropriate situations, and perhaps most importantly, he harbored paranoid thoughts about his doctors and a peculiar fanatical behavior. The doctor concluded that Seifert was a paranoid schizophrenic. However, since he did not show any violent behaviors, doctors elected not to hospitalize him. On the 7th of October 1955, Seifert married Renate Urzler. Urzler died of an embolism during premature birth of their child on the 11th of February 1961. For Seifert's paranoid mind, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Seifert compiled a 120-page letter entitled Muttermord Einzelschall und Analyse eines Systems, translating as matricide, individual fate, and analysis of a system, which was sent to agencies, doctors, and pharmaceutical manufacturers, where he attempted to prove that doctors were responsible for the death of his wife, as the treatment for her embolism was performed incorrectly. In his writings, Seifert wrote that the doctor is the greatest mass murderer of the poor in the history of mankind. In March 1964, Seifert began preparing for a massacre, making his weapons from scratch, including a spear, a mace, and a flamethrower. On the 11th of June 1964, shortly after 9 a.m., Seifert entered the Catholic elementary school in Volkhoven, Cologne, which consisted of one main building and 4 wooden barracks with a total of 8 teachers and 380 pupils. Seifert entered the school through one of 2 gates, with crossing guards mistaking him for a mechanic trying to repair the gate's broken lock, which he blocked off with a wooden wedge. Seifert proceeded towards teacher Anna Langhawk, who was teaching a group of girls in their PE class in the schoolyard. With Seifert knowing Langhawk, Seifert ignited his flamethrower and attacked Langhawk and her students. Seifert went to one of the barracks, smashed in the windows with a mace and aimed his weapon at the children in the classroom, setting them on fire. He continued to attack people running and jumping out of the burning buildings until his flamethrower ran out of fuel. 62-year-old teacher Gertrude Bollenrath approached Seifert in the schoolyard, with Seifert fatally stabbing Bollenrath in the chest with his spear. Seifert approached the barrack where Ursula Kur and Mrs. Kunz, whose first name was not given, were teaching. Both women attempted to keep the doors closed, with Seifert opening one, causing 24-year-old Kur to lose her balance and fall down a flight of stairs, landing on the ground in the building, where Seifert stabbed her in both legs and once between her shoulders with his spear. Kur died at the scene. Schoolchildren and Bollenrath had already begun to extinguish children's clothing which had caught fire, with garbage collection staff having broken open the locked gate and providing blankets and clothing to children. In just 15 minutes, one teacher had been killed, with one, Bollenrath, fatally wounded and dying in hospital at 1 p.m. Teachers Anna Langor, 67 years old, and Wiltud Schwenden and 28 pupils were taken to hospitals, some of them with burns to 90% of their body. The night after the attack, the liquid was found not to have been acidic, with medical equipment to treat skin burns procured specifically to protect the children. 1 month later, only one child had been released from hospital, with 10 still in mortal danger and a 13-year-old girl remaining in hospital for a year. A further 8 children aged between 9 and 12 died between the 15th and 30th of June 1964. Following the attack, Seifert fled the school compound and swallowed poisonous insecticide E605 parafoid in an attempt to commit suicide. However, Seifert did not die immediately and was chased by 20 to 30 people towards a rail embankment where he tried to fend off pursuers with his spear. Police arrived at the scene at 9:38 a.m. where Seifert attempted to stab one of the officers before being shot in the leg. Seifert was arrested and taken to the University Hospital in Lindenthal, where he died at 8:35 p.m. on the 11th of June 1964. Both Bollenrath and Kur had schools named after them, with Lanchor presented with the Medal Cross by Pope Paul VI, as well as the Medal of Merit, the lowest class of the Order of Merit of the Federal Republic of Germany, as well as the Rettungsmedaille of the State of North Rhine-Westphalia, which is a life-saving medal, presented to her. Upon her death in 1990, a school in a neighbouring suburb was named after her. The school was closed, and all of the buildings except for the old schoolhouse were closed in the next few days and destroyed, with the Simboland Hall exhibiting contemporary art built on its site in 1979. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that like and subscribe button and the bell icon to inform you when new videos come out. It helps more than you know and your support is truly appreciated. You'll also be seeing 2 other videos for you to check out. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, and have an amazing day.